The name says it all, Hudson and Rex. A detective and his loyal dog, solving crimes together, building trust, and capturing hearts around the world. But Season 8 has delivered the shock no fan was prepared for. Detective Charlie Hudson, the very soul of the series, is suddenly gone. No farewell, no closure, just silence. And now the question haunting every fan is simple yet devastating: has John Reardon, the man who brought Charlie Hudson to life, walked away for good, or is there a much bigger story hiding in the shadows? From the very beginning, Hudson and Rex wasn't just another police drama. It stood apart because of the bond between Detective Charlie Hudson and Rex, his canine partner. Together, they were the heartbeat of the series. Fans tuned in not only for the mysteries, but for the emotional connection, the loyalty, and the trust that made Hudson and Rex feel like family. But as Season 8 rolled out, something felt different. The promotional posters, the teasers, the official announcements, Charlie Hudson's face was missing. Instead, another character, Mark, was suddenly pushed to the forefront. That absence spoke louder than any words could, and fans immediately sensed something was terribly wrong. Rewind to Season 7. Many viewers had already noticed a strange shift. Charlie Hudson's screen time began to shrink, and the storylines didn't feel the same. It was as if someone was quietly pushing Charlie out while pulling Mark in. At first, people assumed it was just a creative choice, or maybe even scheduling issues. But then the truth emerged: John Reardon was fighting a private battle against tonsil cancer. While fans were watching Season 7 unfold, John was quietly enduring treatments, facing something far tougher than any scripted case. Out of respect, the production team stayed silent, and John himself kept his struggle private until the time was right. When news finally broke, the reaction was immediate and emotional. Fans felt gutted, but also inspired by John's resilience. His announcement that treatment was complete and recovery was underway gave everyone hope that he would soon return to the show. Naturally, the expectation was clear: Charlie Hudson would be back in Season 8, stronger than ever, and the partnership with Rex would continue. But that's not what happened. Instead, fans were met with posters that sidelined Charlie entirely. No explanation, no proper goodbye, no grand exit. Just silence. And that silence has become unbearable. If John had officially left, wouldn't the writers have given him the farewell he deserved? A powerful send-off, one final case, a heartfelt goodbye with Rex? But none of that happened. Instead, Charlie simply disappeared. And that disappearance has triggered a wave of questions, suspicions, and theories. Some believe John himself made the choice to step away, wanting to explore new projects or take a break from the demanding pace of television. After all, he has been involved in other work, like his renovation series with his wife, and different creative ventures. But here's the problem: actors often take side projects while continuing their main roles. Why would John, after surviving cancer and returning to health, abandon the role that made him beloved worldwide without even saying goodbye? Others think the decision wasn't John's at all, but rather the network's. Television is a business. And sometimes networks make cold decisions to chase numbers, even at the cost of upsetting loyal fans. By spotlighting Mark and weaving him deeper into the story, producers may have been testing how far they could push the show without Charlie. But fans noticed. They noticed when Charlie's presence faded, when Mark suddenly became the hero, and when the chemistry that defined Hudson and Rex was quietly rewritten. And they didn't like it. Social media exploded with outrage, with fans declaring, "No Charlie, no show." The mystery deepens when you look at John Reardon's own actions. He hasn't cut ties with the show. On the contrary, he has shared old clips, praised his colleagues, and openly reminisced about his time on set. That doesn't sound like a man ready to slam the door shut. It sounds like someone who still cares deeply, someone who might even want to return. So why hasn't he? Why the silence from both John and the production team? This is where the theories turn darker. Some believe John was quietly pushed out after his recovery, a decision made behind closed doors, perhaps with the excuse of restructuring the series. If that's true, it would be one of the coldest decisions in recent television history. To remove the very heart of the show, the man whose name is in the title, without explanation or closure, feels like betrayal, not just to John, but to the audience who supported him through his hardest battle. Yet, despite the silence, hope refuses to die. Many fans believe this could be deliberate misdirection, a carefully planned twist. Imagine the impact if, midway through Season 8, Charlie Hudson suddenly reappeared. The shock, the emotion, the tears, it would be the comeback of the decade. Could the producers be keeping fans in the dark to deliver the biggest surprise in the show's history? That's the possibility that keeps viewers hanging on, waiting, and hoping, but until the truth comes out, one thing remains clear: Hudson and Rex without Hudson isn't the same. The bond that carried this show cannot be replaced. And fans are making sure the world knows it. The silence surrounding Charlie Hudson's departure has now become the loudest sound in the Hudson and Rex universe. Fans aren't just curious anymore, they're frustrated, suspicious, and demanding answers. And the strange part is, both the network and the production team seem determined to say nothing. No official statement, no farewell message, no acknowledgement of what's happening. And when a series deliberately avoids giving answers to its most loyal audience, it almost always means one thing: there's something they don't want us to know. Think about it. If John Reardon had truly left on his own terms, wouldn't there have been some kind of send-off? A heartfelt post thanking fans for years of support? A behind-the-scenes farewell video with the cast? Maybe even a carefully crafted storyline giving Charlie Hudson a heroic exit? But instead, what did fans get? A Season 8 poster with Charlie missing. That's not closure. That's a cover-up, and this is why so many theories have started to swirl online. Some fans believe John's health might still be fragile, even though he announced his recovery. Filming a fast-paced crime drama can be grueling: long hours, intense schedules, and physical demands. Maybe John decided he needed more time to heal. If that were true, fans would understand completely. But if that's the case, why hasn't he said so? Why hasn't there been a reassuring message like, "I'm stepping back temporarily, but I'll be back soon"? That lack of clarity makes the entire situation feel off, almost like someone is deliberately keeping the truth under wraps. Others are convinced this isn't about health at all, it's about business. Networks are known to take risks, and sometimes those risks alienate the very fans who built the show's success. By pushing Mark into the spotlight during Season 7, the producers may have been testing a new formula, one where Mark becomes the central figure alongside Rex. But let's be honest, fans didn't ask for that change. They weren't tired of Charlie. They weren't demanding a replacement. They were invested in Hudson and Rex as it was, the detective and his dog, solving cases together with Sarah and the team by their side. To try and rewrite that formula feels like a slap in the face to the viewers who made the series a success. In the first place, the way Mark has been positioned only makes things more suspicious. In Season 7, he wasn't just a background character, he was suddenly painted as the hero, the savior, the man stepping into Hudson's shoes. To longtime fans, it looked less like a natural story progression and more like a calculated grooming process. As if the writers were saying, here's the new Charlie, whether you like it or not. But fans did notice, and they weren't buying it. The backlash has been strong, with countless comments flooding social media demanding John's return and openly rejecting the idea of Mark as the lead. Yet, here's the twist that keeps everyone second-guessing: John Reardon himself hasn't cut ties. On social media, he's been active, sharing memories from the show, praising his castmates, and even hinting at nostalgia for his role as Charlie Hudson. That doesn't sound like someone ready to walk away forever. It sounds like someone who still cares, someone who still feels connected to the show, and maybe even someone who's waiting for the right moment to step back in. If he truly wanted to leave Hudson and Rex behind, why keep reminding fans of his journey? Unless, of course, he doesn't want to leave at all. This is why the silence feels almost strategic. What if the showrunners are deliberately keeping quiet, not because Charlie is gone, but because they're setting up one of the biggest twists in the show's history? Imagine the emotional impact if Charlie suddenly reappears halfway through this season. Fans who were heartbroken by his absence would be shocked, overjoyed, and glued to their screens. It would be the kind of comeback that turns a good season into an unforgettable one. And the secrecy leading up to it would make the reveal even more powerful. But here's where things get complicated. Every day that goes by without an explanation, the more restless fans become. Silence can build suspense, yes, but it can also destroy trust. Fans have invested years into Charlie Hudson's journey. They've stood by John Reardon through his real-life struggles. They've cheered, cried, and celebrated with him. To leave them hanging now feels less like storytelling and more like betrayal. And if the network truly believes they can replace Charlie with Mark without consequence, they may be in for a rude awakening, because here's the truth: Hudson and Rex without Hudson doesn't work. The title itself proves it. You can't erase the man whose name is literally in the show's title and expect fans to accept it quietly. Charlie Hudson isn't just a character, he's half of the show's soul. He's the anchor, the partner. Rex trusted above all, the detective who brought heart to every case. To lose him without explanation isn't just confusing. It's devastating, and yet, despite the frustration, hope refuses to die. Many fans are clinging to the idea that all of this is a setup, that Charlie's absence is temporary, and that the silence is hiding something spectacular. Maybe he's undercover. Maybe he's been injured. Maybe he's been forced into hiding because of a dangerous enemy. The writers have countless ways to explain his absence, and each one could lead to an explosive return. That hope is what keeps fans hanging on, even as the silence grows heavier every day. The question that refuses to go away is simple, yet painful. Is Charlie Hudson's departure from Hudson and Rex permanent, or is this just another twist in the writer's playbook? Fans are torn apart, debating whether this is the end of Hudson's journey or merely the calm before a storm. The truth is, the show has left the answer hanging in a way that almost feels intentional, teasing us with breadcrumbs but never revealing the full story. But on one hand, everything about his exit feels final. The way the camera lingered on Rex's face, the silent heartbreak in every scene, and the absence of clear reassurances all hint at a permanent goodbye. For a character as central as Charlie Hudson, the writers would never craft such a heavy exit unless they were truly prepared to say farewell. It wasn't just another cliffhanger, it was a statement, a closing of a chapter that had defined the show from its very beginning. For many viewers, this feels like the heartbreaking conclusion of a partnership that had carried the series for years, but let's not forget, television history is filled with surprises. Characters have left before, only to make dramatic returns when fans least expected it. Could Charlie's departure be a setup for something even bigger? Could the writers be crafting a story where his absence is only temporary, designed to explore Rex's journey on his own and then reunite the two when the audience is at their breaking point? After all, nothing fuels anticipation like loss. The silence surrounding Hudson's fate might not be the end, it could be the very tool used to keep us hanging on, desperate for answers. But there's also the reality of the actor's own choices. John Reardon has been the face of Charlie Hudson since day one, and his chemistry with Rex is what turned the series into a global success. But like all actors, he may be seeking new horizons, new roles that challenge him in different ways. Could it be that his departure was less about the writer's decisions and more about his personal journey? If that's the case, then the door may never reopen. Yet, producers often find ways to lure beloved actors back, especially when fan demand reaches its peak. This leaves fans with two equally haunting possibilities. The first is that Charlie Hudson is gone for good, leaving Rex to forge a new path with different partners, a bold move that could either revitalize or fracture the show. The second is that his absence is temporary, a carefully crafted plot twist meant to tug at our hearts before delivering the ultimate reunion. Both scenarios are filled with suspense, and the uncertainty is what makes this moment so powerful. For now, all we can do is speculate, rewatch the final moments of Hudson's last episode, and search for hidden clues the writers may have left behind. Did Rex's expression hint at a future reunion? Did Hudson's words carry a double meaning, suggesting this isn't truly goodbye? Or are we simply holding on to hope because the thought of losing such a beloved character feels unbearable? What's undeniable is this: the departure of Charlie Hudson has shaken Hudson and Rex to its core. Whether it's the end or a pause, fans will remember this moment as one of the most emotional and shocking turns in the show's history. And until the creators give us answers, the mystery will continue to gnaw at us, fueling endless debates, theories, and sleepless nights. So now, the real question remains: what comes next for Rex? Will he continue fighting crime with a new partner by his side, or will fate bring him back to Charlie Hudson in an unforgettable reunion? The silence is deafening, and every fan knows that only time will reveal the truth.